invoking the formal involvement of the military in the civilian affairs. I ask this because, Mr. Speaker, it has been like the minister has, whether it is him or the previous administration, tended to favor Nairobi. We know that the military, when they get involved, they do very good work. But is there a way we can invoke them? Because right now, the minister is my neighbor, Garissa, Tana River County, between Madogo and the county of Garissa. That bridge, the highway has been mismanaged by the KNHA. Why can't the minister invoke his office to bring in the military to solve that problem? I'm asking him if there is a way he can come in there, and on the other side between Tana River and Lamu, that road also, the Kenya National Highways Authority has not done a good job. We know if the military can come in, they will resolve those problems, because both those problems happened when the infrastructure was destroyed during the flooding. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm asking the minister, is there a way that they can also distribute the military to help us in some of our counties, not just favoring particular counties? Mr. Speaker, thank you.
I will allow Senator Wambua to ask his question so that the CS can take the two together.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is very closely related to what Senator Mugatana was alluding to in his opening remarks. Speaker, Article 187 of the Constitution is very clear on transfer of functions from one level of government to another level of government. And one of the requirements of that article, Mr. Speaker, is that when that transfer is going to take place, then arrangements shall be put in place to ensure that the resources necessary for the performance of the function or exercise of the power are transferred. As Speaker, I would want to know whether Article 187 of the Constitution was invoked in this transfer of this function from the county government of Nairobi to the Ministry of Defense, and whether then the county government of Nairobi transferred the resources necessary for that function to the Ministry of Defense to undertake that function. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, let me start with Honorable my neighbor, Senator Mugatana. I agree with him that there are times, and the Constitution provides for that. Article 243, Sub-Article 3B of the Constitution allows Kenya Defense Forces, when they are called upon, particularly on emergency, like what's happening now in parts of Tana River, Garissa, and Lamu, to come in and assist citizens. That we did it during the El Nino, you remember. We are going to do now. In fact, today we are hearing all the dams are overflowing, and we expect in the next 4 days a lot of flooding in Garissa, Garissa, Tana River, and Lamu, to be very specific. So I agree with you. Of course, in concurrence with the Commander-in-Chief, there are many things that we will do. We are thinking of, like other countries, to establish a formal and even legally a construction industrial company within KDF, that where they can be sent to remote parts in secure regions, do road construction, do water, dams, build schools. So the Defense Council is working on that to make sure that now we have a specific department called the construction, like in other countries, like if you go to the US, if you go to Egypt, so that where even contractors cannot reach because of the terrain, because of insecurity, the military have a wing that can do national projects. Coming back to, and we are going to work with the leadership of Garissa and Tana River and Lamu, more specifically. We are working with them now in the Boni Enclave to make sure that terrorists don't cross from Somalia into our country. On the question by the senator for Kitui, Senator Wambua, I don't want to, that Article 183 is very specific on transfer of functions. 187 is very specific on transfer of functions. This was done, whether it was done procedurally, whether it was not, a due process was not followed, that was done by the previous administration. I want to assure you that the Governor Sonko's issue, the creation of the Nairobi Metropolitan Service, and any other organ outside the Constitution will never be created under the administration led by Honorable William Ruto. That will never happen. So I came to office in September of 2022. We found the park, and our business was to make sure, as Senator of Nairobi said, we complete the park, we hand over. This House has an obligation, as a former member of Parliament, this House has an obligation, its committees, to go and find out why Article 187 was violated by the previous leadership. I don't think I can carry myself. I was not part and parcel of those who violated Article 187 in those days. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Miraj.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, na nimkaribishe waziri na niweze pia mimi kutoa swali langu. Ni kwamba pale Mombasa, bwana waziri, tuko na park inaitwa Uhuru Park. Inaitwa Uhuru Park pale Mombasa, na wakati wa nyuma ilikuwa imenyakuliwa na mabwenyenye, na tunashukuru kwamba tumeweza kuregeshewa hati miliki. Nilikuwa nauliza kama mwakilishi wa Mombasa, je, tunaweza kupata huduma ambazo mumeweza kuzifanyia gatuzi ya Nairobi ya kuja kurekebisha, kufanya ukarabati ili kuregesha nidhamu? Kwa sababu kuna changamoto kubwa ambayo inatukabili pale Mombasa, bwana waziri, ya kwamba kuna jamii za watu wanaorandaranda ambazo inaongeza idadi ya utovu wa usalama katika mji wetu. Labda pengine na sisi tukipawa fursa muje pale muturekebishie ili kuwe na nidhamu, kwa sababu tumeona ni jambo ambalo limekuwa kero sana kwa wananchi wa Mombasa katika garden hiyo ya Uhuru na pale Makadara Grounds. Swali langu lilikuwa ni je, tunaweza kupata huduma kama hiyo ya kufanywa ukarabati wa mabustani yale yetu? Na pia ni kuombe, kwa sababu unahusika katika asasi ya usalama, muweze kuangalia mbinu ya kushirikiana na gavana wetu wa Mombasa ili muweze kuwapa makazi mazuri, kwa sababu sitaki nieleweke vibaya kwamba tunataka tu kuondosha, lakini sio kuenda wao kusumbuliwa pale walipo, kwa sababu wao kama raia wengine wale machokora wanaorandaranda wako na haki ya kupawa mahali pazuri pa kuishi. Ningependekeza pia kama yawezekana hizi nyumba za bei nafuu ambazo zinapeanwa, hawa watu waweze kupawa mahali pazuri pa kuishi, kwa sababu ni kero na usalama unazidi kuzorota katika mji wetu wa Mombasa. So nauliza kama inawezekana mufike kule Mombasa muturekebishie yale mabustani yetu ili tuweze kupata mandhari mazuri ya kuweza kujivinjari. Asante.
Senator Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine, I was just following the question that was asked by Senator Sifuna and the answer that the CS gave, that the park belongs to the citizens and only citizens can go there. And I want him to clarify if politicians are not citizens.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Speaker, politicians are citizens, and they are very important citizens. They are leaders. All that I said is they will not do their trade, their rallies, and they will not take their tools of trade and support us to Uhuru Park. And that's why I said earlier, even our senators, our members of parliament, staff of parliament, now have an opportunity to walk to the park in the evening. It's well lit. They can do their jogging, they can do their walking. So they are citizens. And Senator Kavindu, I did not mean that they will not be allowed. I only said rallies and meetings of our important citizens, the leadership will not be, as it used to be, will not be, they can go to Kasarani. Once we renovate Kasarani, and as we prepare for AFCON, I think last election we were doing Nyayo and Kasarani, and now there are many other stadiums coming. Mheshimiwa Speaker, Stani wala zinasema kama swali imeulizwa kwa Kiswahili lazima nijibu kwa Kiswahili. Acha nijaribu kwa dada yangu Senator mteule kutoka Mombasa. Hiyo mpango inaweza kufanyika, lakini sitaki ifanyike na ifanye kosa kwa katiba vile Senator wa Kitui alifanya. Kuna namna tunaweza kufanya. Gavana wa Mombasa anaweza kuuliza tushirikiane, kurudisha nyuso na uzuri wa Uhuru Gardens na Makadara. Yale mengine ya hata Uhuru Park hatutaki watu ambaye wataharibu kama wale vijana wa kurandaranda kwenda kwa Uhuru Park. Lazima hata wakikuja lazima wakuja na nidhamu na iangaliwe. We don't want, tutaki turudishe hiyo Uhuru Park iwe kama zamani. So na ile ya housing wapewe, nafikiri waziri wa housing atakuja hapa ajibu hiyo swali. Mambo ya manyumba nafikiri nikisema nitaongea itakuwa nimekosea ile heshima mwenzangu waziri ako nayo. Asanteni.
Senator Chute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me take this opportunity first to congratulate our CS who have served as a politician for many years and also as a CS now, and also thank him and the Department of Defense, Ministry of Defense, for the good work they are doing. First of all, at KMC, the KMC was before my committee about 2 weeks ago, and they've done a very good job. They've made profits now. Thank you very much for that. Also, let me take this opportunity to thank you for what you've done in Sololo, Level 4 Hospital, and the football stadiums in this country. This question goes to Honorable CS. There is a flooding in Nothor. The roads are impassable. The people in Nothor, Dukana, Gas are suffering. Honorable CS, what can you do to help the people in that area? We have military personnel in a place called Hidido in Nothor constituency. Can you deploy that military to help the people in Nothor, Gas, and Dukana? Thank you very much.
Senator Duale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I wish also to welcome our brother CS Defense. Now, Mr. Speaker, I think we have outstanding issues with the CS, and we have spoken severally on it, more specifically on matters of land. And I believe there is no county that has really taken care of the interest of defense more than Isiolo County, because we have about 4 camps in Isiolo County. And I'm actually can I say unhappy or depressed when I hear other counties are really pressing KDF and benefiting from the fruits of KDF, and yet Isiolo County that is taking care of KDF in many ways has not benefited much. My question is, Mr. Speaker, to the CS, can we please resolve the outstanding issue? And secondly, maybe something that we can appreciate KDF with, more specifically, I would say something like a stadium, especially for the youths, because we have a small stadium that has stuck because of several issues. If they can actually put up a stadium for us, we have so many talents that are wasted in Isiolo due to drugs and so many other challenges. Please, PS, I'm pleading to you, can we have something that we can appreciate KDF for? Because today in Isiolo, people are condemning KDF because of land, because of so many things. But if we get something nice that is put up there in the interest of Isiolo people from KDF, the relationship will be actually very good. I thank you.
Senator Chirange.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mine, and it's good to see the Majority Leader Emeritus back. Mine is a quick also, just follow what Senator Duale said. I wanted to find the status of the resolution of the issue of land around RTS in Eldoret. Mr. Speaker, there are members from Nandi under the name of Leseru Tebeson Farmers Cooperative Society, where they have 3,500 acres and it is owned by more than 500 members. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to find the status because the CS came and mentioned the famous Chepsilange, yet that matter has moved to court. It has been litigated, and they have found out that 3,500 acres rightly belong to 500 members to Leseru Tebeson Farmers, led by one Chepsilange, Mr. Speaker. And in that resolution, what is the CS doing to ensure what Senator Duale said, bringing that unity and cohesiveness? Mr. Speaker, sir, there have been suspicious and mysterious deaths of youth around the barracks within Eldoret. What is the CS and Army doing to ensure that matter is resolved, Mr. Speaker?
What is the point of order, Senator
Mr. Speaker, there is no provision in the law that under supplementary question you ask point of order.
I will invoke
You should
standing order number one.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandez.
I finished my questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Senator Mandago, what is the point of order?
Honorable Speaker, I'm standing on the number 105 on statement of facts.
Well, we are interrupting the live proceedings of the Senate this morning's sitting to take you to the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where this morning there is the official launch of the National Road Safety Action Plan 2024-2028 by His Excellency the President of Kenya, Honorable William Samoei Ruto. This is an event that is at the KICC. Allow me to hand you over to this event, then we will be back shortly with the Senate proceedings. Good morning.
You alleges must prove, so the Senator of Wazingishu must also prove. I have facts, Mr. Speaker, and if you give me, the CS can answer on the final part of resolution because implementation, but if you need the court documents and everything, you can give me maybe up to next week, Tuesday, I can be able to table. But in future, teach the Senator of Wazingishu.
Senator Fernandez.
He said Nandis are, he said,
Mr.
Speaker,
Senator Fernandez.
invaders, Mr. Speaker, can he withdraw saying we are invaders? We have never invaded anything.
Proceed.
We only invade the kingdom of heaven, Mr. Speaker. We don't invade Wazingishu.
Senator Fernandez, can you take your seat? Honorable CS, you will proceed to respond to the question and leave alone the rest of that particular contribution. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator from Marsabit, yes, there is a serious flooding.
They are not here now, but this is a team that we have worked together to make sure that road safety is critical. I want to thank also the Parliament and our parliamentary committee. And thank you, George, for the work you are doing with your committee. Indeed, as the chair said, Your Excellency, this is one of the best committees, very friendly, hardworking, and they have been able to pass as many regulations and legislation we have requested them and facilitated the ministry to be able to do its work. So I want to thank them. I want to thank the stakeholders. Karagasha is here with the various border industry is also represented here. We have matatu owners, matatu welfare, transport associations who are here, different associations who have been of immense importance in terms of coming up with this very important strategic road safety action plan. Your Excellency, this is not the work of the ministry alone. This is a sector that cannot succeed if we try or even attempt to do things on our own. We will not succeed. Our intention and my intention in this ministry is to make sure that we have institutionalized solutions to problems of road safety. I do not wish Your Excellency to be glorified as a cabinet secretary or to have measures that will only be remembered for the short period of time I will serve in this docket. It should be, Your Excellency, that we have measures that I would last us, including your administration, so that therefore we have a country that reduces road carnage and road accidents, which is very painful if we think about the statistics. Your Excellency, the statistics are very, very, very grim and actually very telling of the very terrible behavior we have as citizens of this country. To be losing between 4,000 to 4,600, the highest was 2022, 4,600, and if we had gone at this rate in this year, perhaps we were going to surpass that number. And Your Excellency, every year to lose those people, and again to have about 20,000 critical enough to know that all the hospitals across the country, especially level 5 and above, have wards that are called border wards. You know, Your Excellency, where you have people who are critically injured. We have bills. We all know in our neighborhood that we've been paying bills of up to, 4 or 5 million per accident, and you lose the person and you pay a higher bill, Your Excellency. It is estimated by the Ministry of Planning that we lose about 450 billion annually, which is 5% of our GDP, Your Excellency, to road accidents, because the pressure that it gives in the hospitals, the pressure that we go through because of these road accidents. And I think that this is something that should worry us. I was telling Kenyans the other day that we should have our anger sustained every day, because we have a situation where when we have road accident, like we had a few grisly road accidents in the last 1 month, you have national outrage and everybody in the country is looking for somebody to blame. And usually the easiest target is the cabinet secretary. And Your Excellency, that outrage just lasts 1 week. When a new agenda comes, people move to something else. If we were outraged enough and angry enough, each one of us would do something every day to make sure that our roads are safe, because the greatest causes of accidents is recklessness. The most important actor in road accidents, Your Excellency, is the driver and the rider, because that is the man or woman who has the greatest control on whether or not they are going to sort out the problem of road accident. And therefore, in this strategic plan, the driver and the rider are at the center of this strategic plan, Your Excellency. We are talking about what we do to be able to train these drivers. I agree with the chair, and thank you very much, because that comes from the sector that is extremely important, that we are training our drivers for only 2 weeks, sometimes 1 week. Your Excellency, it's even worse for border riders, for motorcycle riders. Many of them, Your Excellency, go to the nearest football pitch, or they go to the nearest wheat farm, or the nearest maize farm. They train one afternoon, and the next day they are carrying an entire family, Your Excellency, without a driving license, without, Your Excellency, being checked. This is a sector that we have said that in the strategic plan we must train our drivers well, we must train our riders, and we must hold them accountable, Your Excellency. This area is sorted, as we have talked with matatu owners, including BRT system. We've been talking with Sakaja, among others. We are going to double or triple the people who are going to be employed when we eventually agree to organize this sector. Your Excellency, we want to protect the driver. Most of these drivers cause accidents because of fatigue. The matatu owners and the business people are the ones who are telling them that you don't have a salary.
But if you can give me a return tonight of 1 million, whatever is on top, it is yours. If you give me a return of 400,000, whatever is on top is yours. So the driver is driving, running helter-skelter around the city, around the country, trying to meet the targets of the matatu owner so that they can have something on top of it. Yet the law speaks to the opposite, that a driver can only work for 8 hours. These people are not in properly organized employment. They do not have NSSF, they don't have NHIF. We want to work with the owners to make sure that the drivers are organized. They can only work for 8 hours, Your Excellency, and that means, therefore, instead of one driver working for 16, 18 hours, we are able to employ 2 people to carry out the responsibility that can be done, Your Excellency, as a driver. So the driver is at the center of this conversation. The rider is at the center. We want our drivers to accept that this is a job. This is a very important job. The government of Kenya today was formed because we told the people of Kenya that dignity of work is very important, that we must respect people from bottom up, that if you are a driver, we value you. If you are a rider, we value you. In any case, His Excellency the President was elected by hanging around border riders and drivers and people who are considered lowly in society. We want you to live in dignity. But if you must live in dignity, you must also partner with us for us to help you to have a dignified life. You must also respect yourself, to love your job, and to do it in the right way. If you are a border rider and you respect yourself, you will have a helmet. If you are a border rider and you respect yourself, you will respect your machine. If you are a matatu driver, you will dress well, you will come to your job, you respect your machine, you respect your life, you want to live long. If it starts from there, then the government of Kenya partnering with you can help you through the financial mechanism that has been put in place, a hustler fund. We can move further to ensure that we source funding for you to start your business. We can move further to do many other things. And Your Excellency, since this strategic plan puts partnership at the center, I want to request our drivers and riders work with the ministry to sort this issue. The other very important partner, Your Excellency, is the county government. I have requested, Your Excellency, in writing that the next summit considers road safety as its most important agenda. Your Excellency, we have 2.5 million motorcycles in the country. About 1.8 million are active. And these active border riders, Your Excellency, need to be organized. We will not be able to organize them at Nairobi. These are transport mechanism of last mile. And as Honorable Sakaja has said, during the next summit, Your Excellency, under your leadership, let us discuss how to empower the counties, including, Your Excellency, the resources we will raise from instant finding and other mechanisms being sent to county governments to help them do road safety. Let them define where the border riders will operate from. Let them define the registration of border riders. For Honorable Sakaja to sort security in this city, he must be able to manage border sector. And I believe, Your Excellency, in the next agenda, as part of the strategic partnership, you will help us to make sure that counties, I would have expected that this meeting, because of the greater outrage we had, in the last 1 month,
every county leader and at least the Council of Governors would have considered this function extremely important, because if we are going to sort the road accidents issue, we have to deal with border. You know why, Your Excellency?